Raider Nation, buckle up because we've got a loaded show for you today. We're breaking down the entire Las Vegas Raiders schedule, from the easiest matchup to the most brutal showdown of the season. And I'm not just talking about strength of schedule based on last year's stats. Forget that. The Raiders' schedule might rank middle of the pack statistically, sitting at number 16 out of 32. But numbers don't tell the whole story. Every year, teams evolve. Rosters change, coaching staff shift, and new stars rise. So let's put the analytics aside and look at this thing with Raider eyes, because I'm only concerned with what our guys are going up against. This Raiders team isn't the same as last year. From the quarterback room to the defensive secondary, the vibe is different. There's energy, there's urgency, and there's a lot of new pieces that can turn this squad into something special. What I'm going to do is walk you through all 17 games, counting them down from what I see as the easiest win on the calendar all the way to the matchup that might have fans sweating bullets from the opening kickoff. And hey, before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Which game are you circling on your calendar as the toughest test of the year? I know a bunch of people are going to say Philadelphia. Others will no doubt mention Kansas City. Because let's be honest, anytime you're facing Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, it's going to be a war. But who knows? Maybe you're looking at the Texans or even the Commanders and thinking that's the real trap. Every year, there's a game that just hits differently, whether it's because of the timing, the travel, the weather, or just the emotional stakes. All right, let's kick things off with what I see as the softest landing spot on the Raiders' schedule. A Week 12 at home against the Cleveland Browns. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, that Browns defense. But here's the thing, Cleveland comes into that game after facing the Baltimore Ravens the week before, and that's a physical battle. That's the kind of game that leaves you limping into the next week. Plus, let's be real, quarterback play in Cleveland has been a roller coaster, and I get it. This is the kind of matchup the Raiders sometimes weirdly lose. There's always that one game every year where you're thinking that we got this. And then somehow we don't. But if we're looking purely on paper and factoring in timing, location, and opponent fatigue, this should be a game where the Raiders handle business. Next up, Week 17 at home versus the New York Giants. Now the Giants only have one AFC game in their final four matchups. This one, if they're in playoff contention, they're going to be laser focused on those NFC games. That might sound counterintuitive, but when teams are making postseason pushes, they prioritize conference matchups because of the tiebreakers. That little edge might just be the difference in intensity, and if the Giants aren't bringing that full fire, the Raiders can take advantage. Week 6 against the Tennessee Titans comes in next on my list. Look, I like Cam Ward. I think he's got more upside than people are giving him credit for, and Tennessee's defense might surprise a few folks. But this will be their third straight road game, and that's brutal, especially for a young team. Travel fatigue is real. You're not just playing football, you're dealing with hotels, flights, new environments, and mental exhaustion. That's a tough spot, and for a team like the Titans, that might be enough to swing the momentum in the Raiders' favor. Then we slide into Week 5, a road game against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are going to run the ball. That's their identity. Jonathan Taylor, big offensive line, smash mouth football. But here's why I think the Raiders match up well. Our defensive front is built to stop the run. The line has been fortified. And that's huge when you're going up against a team that isn't going to stretch the field with their passing game. Their quarterback situation, not scaring anyone, as long as the secondary holds it down. And I'll admit, we probably need to add some depth at free safety and nickel. We're going to be in a good position to dominate the trenches and control the tempo. Moving on to the season opener, Week 1 against the New England Patriots. Week 1 is always tricky. Teams are still finding their rhythm. Coaches are testing out their game plans in live action for the first time, so there's a bit of unpredictability baked in. But I do think this is a winnable game. The Raiders will come out with something to prove. New coach, new QB, fresh energy. This group is going to want to make a statement. And while the Patriots will be prepared, because let's be real, Belichick teams don't just roll over. I believe this version of the Raiders is simply more talented across the board. And now we hit a bit of a tier break. Those first 5 games I mentioned, that's the tier of should-win games. After that, things start getting a little more spicy. Week 9 against the Jacksonville Jaguars is where things get interesting. Both teams are coming off a bye, which neutralizes any rest advantage. So it comes down to coaching and preparation. And while Jacksonville has built something respectable, I think the Raiders staff, guys like Patrick Graham on defense, can scheme up a game plan to make life tough for Trevor Lawrence. If we win the chess match on the sidelines, we've got a shot to win the one on the field. Week 11 brings us to Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. Here's why I like this matchup for the Raiders. They're coming off a Thursday night game in Week 10. That gives them a mini bye. More time to rest, more time to study, more time to get healthy. And when you're playing on a Monday, that's even more recovery. Those extra days, they matter, especially this deep into the season when guys are banged up. The Cowboys are a tough squad, no doubt, but timing matters in the NFL. And I think the Raiders catch them at the right moment. Now, Week 14 is a familiar foe, the Denver Broncos. It's an AFC West battle, and you always circle those. But the Broncos are coming off back-to-back games against the Commanders and the Chiefs. Two teams that are no joke. That's a gauntlet. And then they've got to face us in Vegas. That's a rough stretch. Broncos will bring the heat, but I like the Raiders' odds at home. Week 2 is our home opener, and it's a big one. Monday Night Football against the Chargers. Division game. Primetime lights. First home game of the year. You already know Allegiant Stadium is going to be rocking. This isn't just a game, it's a tone setter. Fans are going to be loud. The atmosphere will be electric. I think this is where the new identity of the team starts to take hold. We've seen what a raucous Raiders crowd can do, and I think this will be one of those games where you feel that old school Oakland energy, even if we're in Vegas now, sliding up the difficulty chart. We get to Week 13. Another clash with the Chargers, but this time it's on the road. And here's where it gets tricky. The Chargers and Raiders tend to split their season series, and that's exactly how I'm calling it this year. We win the home game, they take the rematch. History backs this up. These two teams have a long-standing tradition of giving each other headaches, and unless something drastically changes, I see that pattern continuing. Now let's talk about Week 4, when we face the Chicago Bears. And I know some people might raise an eyebrow at how high I'm ranking this one, but hear me out. First off, the Raiders will be coming off a road game against the Commanders. Travel fatigue kicks in. Then there's the fact that the Bears fan base travels extremely well. Last time they came to Allegiant, it looked like Soldier Field. That's not a joke. The Bears essentially took over the stadium. It matters, especially for a young team still trying to establish a home field identity. Add in the fact that Caleb Williams will probably be finding his stride by then, and Chicago's revamped offensive line is no joke either. It's a sneaky tough matchup. Let's jump ahead to Week 16 against the Houston Texans. This is where things get brutal. The week before, the Raiders go to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. That's going to be a war. Win or lose, your body's going to feel that game for days. Then you have to travel again to face C.J. Stroud and a Texans team that's been getting stronger each season. Back-to-back road games, including one against a top-tier opponent, that's a tough pill to swallow. And while I think the Raiders can hold their own, the timing here is brutal. Coming in at number 5 is the Week 10 Thursday night matchup against Denver. Short week, division game, on the road, that's a recipe for chaos. Anyone who's watched enough Thursday night games knows the drill. It's sloppy, it's physical, and the home team usually has the edge just because of the travel demands. Raiders will be up for it, but these are the kind of games where execution matters most, and fatigue can mess with your focus. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders have pulled off the unthinkable. Quarterback Josh Allen has signed with the franchise in a blockbuster deal, instantly reshaping the team's identity and aspirations. The stunning acquisition of one of the league's most electrifying quarterbacks marks a new era in the desert as the Raiders look to mount a serious Super Bowl challenge with a revitalized offensive unit that is already being dubbed the Attack of Dreams. Josh Allen, known for his rocket arm, fearless playmaking, and dual threat capabilities leaves behind a storied tenure with the Buffalo Bills to join the Silver and Black. The contract, reportedly one of the most lucrative in NFL history, underscores the Raiders all-in mentality. Though specific terms of the deal remain undisclosed, insiders suggest it includes massive guaranteed money and performance-based incentives that could place it among the top quarterback contracts of all time. This bold move by the Raiders front office sends a clear message. Mediocrity is no longer acceptable. With Josh Allen under center, the offense gains not just a leader but a game changer capable of turning any play into a highlight reel moment. Pairing Allen with an already talented receiving core and a versatile backfield gives head coach Antonio Pierce the firepower he needs to compete with the AFC's elite. Fans are buzzing with anticipation as analysts begin to recalibrate their power rankings. The Raiders, once seen as a rebuilding squad, now emerge as a legitimate threat, not just in the AFC West but in the entire league. Expectations are sky high and the pressure will be intense. But if there's one quarterback who thrives under the spotlight, it's Josh Allen. With training camp on the horizon, excitement is reaching fever pitch in Las Vegas. One thing is certain. The Raiders are no longer just betting on the future, they're demanding it now. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.